Let yourself settle in now. Find a position that allows your body to feel heavy, supported, and completely at rest. There is nothing you need to do right now. The markets are closed or far away, and the charts have faded into the background. Here, in this quiet space, we are simply observers. We are going to drift through the landscape of the human mind, looking gently at how we think, how we feel, and how we begin our journeys. We start at the beginning. The beginning of a trader's path is rarely filled with fear. It is filled with a bright, warm energy. This brings us to the first concept, which is overconfidence. Imagine this not as arrogance, but as a shield. When we first step into the world of trading, we feel a sense of certainty. It is a comforting feeling. We believe we possess a special insight, a unique ability that sets us apart. It feels good to believe this. It settles the nerves. In the quiet of the night, acknowledge that this feeling of being better than average is a natural human blanket. We wrap ourselves in it to feel safe in an uncertain world. It is the mind whispering that you are ready even before you truly are. Let that feeling float by like a cloud. Drifting deeper, we find the optimism bias. This is the light that shines on the horizon. When we look at the future, our minds are programmed to see the sunrise, not the storm. We instinctively believe that things will work out in our favor. We see the profits, the wins, and the success as the most likely outcome. It is a beautiful trait of the human spirit to hope. In trading, this bias paints the charts in bright colors. It softens the edges of risk. As you lie here, allow yourself to feel that optimism, but hold it lightly. It is a soft golden glow that warms us, protecting us from the cold reality of probability. We expect the best, and in this moment of rest, that is a peaceful place to be. Now, we move to the illusion of control. Picture yourself acting as the captain of a great ship on a vast, infinite ocean. You have your hand on the wheel. You feel the wood beneath your fingers. You believe that if you turn the wheel, the ocean will obey. This is the illusion. We believe that if we study enough, if we draw enough lines, if we focus hard enough, we can control the outcome of a trade. It is a way to soothe our anxiety about the chaos. We convince ourselves that our actions dictate the market's waves. But here, in the safety of sleep, we can admit that the ocean moves on its own. We can let go of the wheel. We can simply float. There is a deep relief in realizing you do not have to control the wind. You only need to sail. As we float along, we encounter brand and authority bias. We look for giants to guide us. When the world feels too big, we look for names we recognize and voices that sound strong. We trust the famous investor, the big bank, the loud headline. We follow their footprints in the snow because it feels safer than making our own path. We assume that because they are known, they must be right. It is the child within us looking for a parent to tell us everything will be okay. It is relaxing to surrender our judgment to someone else, to let them carry the burden of decision. Watch this tendency drift away now. You are safe here without needing to follow anyone. Connecting these thoughts is the narrative fallacy. The human mind is a storyteller. We love stories. We weave threads of unrelated events into a perfect tapestry. If the market goes up, we invent a reason. If it goes down, we create a cause. We need the world to make sense. We need a beginning, a middle, and an end. We tell ourselves stories to create order out of noise. It is a way to organize the chaos into something we can understand. But tonight, you don't need a story. You don't need a reason. You can let the threads unravel. Let the logic dissolve. There is only the quiet hum of the present moment, without a plot, without a script, just peace. In this state of relaxation, we notice how we look at assets. We engage in stereotyping. We simplify the complex world into easy labels. We think one thing is always safe and another is always risky. We categorize. We put things in boxes. Gold is safety. Tech is speed. It is a mental shortcut that saves us energy. Our minds want to rest, so they paint the world in broad, simple strokes. It requires less effort than seeing the nuance. Feel the weight of those boxes lifting off your mind. You don't need to categorize anything right now. Everything can just be what it is, undefined, clear, simple. We naturally gravitate toward what feels warm and known. This is the comfort with familiar risk. We prefer the dangers we know over the safety of the unknown. We stick to the strategies we have seen before, even if they are flawed, because they feel like home. We walk the same path day after day because the scenery is familiar. There is a coziness in repetition. We avoid the strange and the new because the mind seeks to conserve its energy. It is okay to seek comfort. It is okay to want the familiar. Let that desire for familiarity wrap around you like a heavy quilt. You are safe in what you know. Close to this feeling is the home bias. We trust our own backyard. We invest in companies from our own country, our own city, our own culture. We believe that because we are close to it, we understand it. It feels safer to keep our wealth within reach, within our sight. It is the instinct to stay close to the campfire, to keep the walls high and the circle tight. It grounds us. But as you drift toward sleep, imagine the walls coming down. Imagine the world is one vast open space, and you are comfortable everywhere. You are at home everywhere. Deep within this thought, we consider the complexity bias. Sometimes we don't want the simple answer. We want the puzzle. We believe that if a strategy is difficult, if it is complicated, it must be better. We are drawn to the intricate web, thinking that complexity equals value. We mistrust the simple solution because it feels too easy. We want to feel smart, so we build mazes for ourselves. But sleep is simple. Rest is simple. The most profound things in life, breath, silence, rest, are not complex. Let go of the need for the puzzle. Let go of the need to solve. We end this first journey by realizing the role we play. We enter the markets confident. We enter with our stories, our heroes, and our beliefs. We enter thinking we are different. It is a beautiful human way to begin. But for now, the journey is paused. The confidence can rest. The stories can fade. You are just here, breathing, listening, and letting go. Allow the silence to return. The internal world of your own confidence has settled, and now we gently turn our attention outward. We drift away from the self and float toward the collective. In the waking world, the market is a loud, crowded place. It is full of voices, screens, and flashing lights. But here, in this quiet drift, we can watch the crowd from a distance. We can observe the noise without being part of it. We are safe on the shore, watching the water move. From this distance, we observe herd behavior. In the wild, animals move together for safety. A flock of birds turns in the sky as one single mind. A school of fish shifts direction in perfect unison. In trading, we feel this ancient pull. When everyone runs one way, our instinct whispers that we should run too. We fear being left alone. We fear being the only one standing still. It is a deep biological need to belong to the group. It feels cold to stand outside the circle. But tonight, there is no crowd to follow. There is no rush to join the movement. You can stand still. You can let the herd pass by like a river flowing around a stone. You are grounded. You are the stone that does not need to move just because the water is rushing. There is peace in your own stillness. As the herd moves, we feel the faint tug of the fear of missing out. FOMO. It is a restless energy. It is the anxiety that something wonderful is happening somewhere else, and you are not there to catch it. The screen screams that opportunities are vanishing. The mind races, thinking it must act now or lose forever. But look at this feeling through the lens of sleep. The market is an ocean. Does the ocean ever run out of waves? No. The waves are infinite. They roll in day after day, year after year. If you miss one wave, another is forming behind it. There is no scarcity in the ocean. There is no last chance. You can let the opportunity go. You can let the train leave the station. You can simply breathe, knowing that the rhythm of the world will bring you what you need in its own time. You do not need to chase. In this stillness, we release the weight of social comparison stress. We live in a world of mirrors. We look at others to see how we are doing. We see the wins of a stranger, the perfect trades of a neighbor, the highlighted success of a voice online. We measure our quiet reality against their loud illusion. It creates a heavy pressure in the chest. It makes us feel we are behind. But here, in the dark, there is no one to compare yourself to. The race is over. The track is empty. You are on your own private journey, a path that belongs only to you. It does not matter how fast others are running. It does not matter how high they climb. Let their journey belong to them. Let your journey be enough. You are exactly where you need to be. Drifting further, we encounter the availability bias. Our minds are like a library that only keeps the books with the brightest covers. We remember the loud events. We remember the crashes, the explosions, the sudden shocks. We recall the information that is easiest to reach, the memories that scream the loudest. We give these loud memories too much power. We think the rare storm is the daily weather. We let the dramatic headlines drown out the quiet, steady truth. Let those loud books fade on the shelf. Let the dramatic headlines dissolve into white noise. The truth is often quiet. The truth is often boring, and that is comforting. The world is not as dangerous as the loudest memory suggests. We watch how our mind paints the world through the framing effect. The picture changes depending on the frame we put around it. If we call a glass half empty, we feel sadness. If we call it half full, we feel hope. The water is the same, only the frame changes. In the markets, we react to how things are presented to us. We react to the words loss or gain, crisis or opportunity. We let the frame dictate our emotion. In this state of relaxation, imagine taking the frame off the painting. Remove the golden edges. Remove the sharp corners. Just look at the canvas itself, without the labels, without the words, without the frantic descriptions. Things simply are. The urgency disappears when you remove the frame. We move gently to the concept of window dressing. In the world of business, appearances are curated. Managers and funds make their portfolios look beautiful before they show them to the world. They hide the mistakes in the back of the closet. They polish the surface to make it shine. It is the desire to be seen as perfect. We do this too. We want our choices to look smart to others. We want to display our victories and hide our flaws. But tonight, you don't need to dress up the window. You don't need to polish anything. You can accept the messy parts. You can accept the imperfections. There is no audience here. You can just be real. The need to impress is a heavy coat. Take it off and let it drop to the floor. And resting here, we arrive at the projection bias. This is the trick the mind plays when it assumes the future will feel exactly like today. When we are happy, we think we will always be happy. When we are scared, we think the fear will last forever. We project our current mood onto the screen of tomorrow. If the market is calm, we assume it will never storm. If it is storming, we assume the sun will never shine. We forget that feelings are temporary. We forget that the weather changes. Acknowledge this bias as a fog. It prevents us from seeing the change that is coming. But in sleep, we are comfortable with the fog. We don't need to know what tomorrow feels like. We only need to feel the bed beneath us right now. The future can take care of itself. The present moment is the only thing that is real. We have stepped back from the crowd. We have turned off the screen. The voices of the herd have faded into a gentle hum. The need to compare, to chase, to frame, and to project has drifted away. You are no longer reacting to the world. You are simply existing within it, quiet and still. We have left the noise of the crowd behind. We have stepped away from the screens. Now we move into a quieter, more intimate space. This is the space where we feel. In the daylight, this is where the struggle happens. This is where theory fades and emotion takes the wheel. But here, in the gentle dark, we can look at these heavy feelings without fear. We can look at them, understand them, and then simply let them go. Let us gently touch the heaviest weight of all, loss aversion. It is a fundamental truth of our biology that the pain of losing feels twice as strong as the joy of gaining. We guard what we have with a fierce intensity. We build walls around our possessions, around our numbers, around our progress. We are terrified of seeing the number go down. It hurts. It feels like a small injury to the self. But tonight, soften that guard. Imagine that there is nothing to protect. Loss is not an injury. It is just a shift in the tide. The tide goes out and the tide comes in. It is a natural rhythm. You do not need to clutch your sandcastle when the water comes. You can watch it dissolve, knowing that the sand remains. You can release the fear of losing, because in this moment of rest, you have everything you need. This fear leads us to the disposition effect. This is the tendency to seek comfort too quickly and to delay pain for too long. When we see a small win, we grab it. We harvest the fruit before it is ripe because we crave the feeling of safety. And when we see a loss, we hold on. We refuse to let go. We hope and we wait and we carry the dead weight, refusing to admit that the season has passed. It is the human desire to avoid being wrong. But tonight, unclench your hands. You don't need to grab the win to be safe. You don't need to hold the loss to save face. You can let the winners run free in the field. You can let the losers fall away like dry leaves. There is a deep relaxation in admitting that you don't need to force the outcome. You can just let the garden grow. Drifting deeper, we find regret aversion. Regret is a shadow that looks backward. We hesitate to act because we are afraid we will wish we had done differently. We are paralyzed by the ghost of a mistake we haven't even made yet. Or we look back at the path we took and wish we had turned left instead of right. We replay the movie, changing the ending, torturing ourselves with what if. Let the movie stop. Let the screen go black. The past is a closed door. The future is an open sky. There is no room for regret in the present moment. The decisions you made were the best you could do with the light you had. Forgive yourself for not knowing the future. Forgive the traitor of yesterday. They did their best. You can rest now. We find ourselves stuck sometimes, held in place by anchoring. We fixate on a number. We decide that a thing is worth this much because that is what we saw first. We drop an anchor in the middle of the ocean and refuse to drift. The market moves, the world changes, the currents shift, but we stare at that one price. We want the world to come back to our number. We want reality to align with our expectation. Visualize that anchor chain rusting and breaking. Feel the boat drift free. You are no longer tied to a price. You are no longer tied to an expectation. You are floating freely on the water, moving with the current, unattached, unmoored, and completely at peace. Often we keep walking down a difficult path because of the sunk cost fallacy. We think, I have walked this far, I cannot turn back now. We think that because we have spent money or time or energy, we must keep spending it to make it worth it. We carry the baggage of the past miles onto the road ahead. We dig the hole deeper, hoping to find a way out. But the money spent is gone, the time is gone, and that is okay. You do not need to carry the weight of your past efforts. You are free to step off the path. You are free to drop the heavy pack you have been carrying. It does not matter how far you have walked. You can simply sit down. You can stop. Closely connected is the endowment effect. We fall in love with what we own. Because it is ours, we think it is gold. We overvalue our own choices simply because we made them. We treat our positions like our children. We cannot see them clearly because they belong to us. We hold them too tight. But in the grand scheme of things, we own nothing. We are just temporary visitors. The assets, the trades, the positions, they are just passing through our hands. Try to cultivate a sense of detachment. Open your hands and visualize the things you own floating just an inch above your palms. They are there, but you are not gripping them. They are not part of you. You are whole without them. And beneath it all, we feel the shifting winds of our risk tolerance. When we are sad, we are reckless. When we are happy, we are cautious. Or perhaps the other way around. Our mood swings and our rules bend with the wind. We are inconsistent. We let the emotions of the last hour dictate the strategy of the next. It is exhausting to be tossed around by your own feelings. But here, in the stillness, the wind has died down. The emotional storm has passed. You are finding a center that does not move. You are finding a baseline of calm. You are neither fearful nor greedy. You are balanced. You are steady. This is the place where the pain usually lives, in the holding on, in the looking back, in the white-knuckled grip on the steering wheel. But tonight, we have opened the hands, we have cut the anchor, we have forgiven the past. The pain dissolves when you stop fighting it. There is only the gentle rise and fall of your breath and the freedom of having nothing to defend. The journey continues. We have felt the initial sting of loss, and now we move into the reaction. In the waking world, this is often a turbulent time. It is a time when the mind, hurt and confused, tries to fight back. It is a spiral. But here, in this deep rest, we can unwind the spiral. We can straighten the coil. We can watch the storm clouds break apart and reveal the calm, dark sky behind them. We are not in the spiral anymore. We are watching it fade. The first wave we notice is the concept of revenge trading. When the market takes something from us, a primal part of the brain wants to take it back. It feels like a personal attack. We feel the heat of anger rise. We want to draw a sword and fight the ocean. We want to force the market to apologize. It is an exhausting state of being, to be at war with something that does not even know you exist. Tonight, lay down the sword, unclench the fist. You cannot fight the ocean, and you do not need to. There is no enemy here. There is no scoreboard to settle. The anger you felt is just energy trying to leave the body. Let it leave. Let it drift out of you like smoke, disappearing into the night air. You are at peace with what was taken. You do not need to fight to get it back. As the anger fades, we look at risk-seeking in losses. When we are down, when we are in the hole, the mind urges us to bet bigger. It whispers that one big leap will fix everything. It is the desperation of the gambler who doubles down to escape the pain. It is a frantic energy, a heart beating too fast, a mind running on fear. But in this quiet moment, you are safe. You do not need to make a big leap. You do not need to fix everything tonight. You are on solid ground. You do not need to risk your peace to recover a number. You can simply accept where you are. The hole is not deep. It is just a dip in the land. You can rest here. We see the waves of our own mood in the overreaction to personal streaks. When we win 3 times in a row, we feel invincible. We feel like gods. When we lose 3 times, we feel broken. We let the randomness of the world dictate our self-esteem. We ride the roller coaster up and down, screaming with every turn. It is tiring to live this way, always at the mercy of the last 3 events. Step off the ride, find the flat, level ground. The streaks mean nothing, they are just patterns in the noise. You are not a god when you win. You are not a failure when you lose. You are just you, constant, steady, unchanging. Drifting further, we encounter the house money effect. When we make a profit, we suddenly treat that money differently. We say, "This is the market's money, not mine." We become careless. We take wild risks because we feel we have nothing to lose. We treat our hard-earned safety as if it were a game. But in the clarity of rest, you know that everything you have is yours. Every breath is precious. Every moment of rest is valuable. You do not need to be careless with your energy just because you have an abundance of it. Treasure your peace. Treasure your gains. Keep them close and keep them safe. Sometimes we fall into the trap of savoring gains too early. We see the finish line and we celebrate before we cross it. We imagine the victory while the race is still running. And when the wind changes, the joy turns to ash. We live in the future fantasy instead of the present reality. We are impatient for the dopamine. Bring your mind back to the now. Do not celebrate what hasn't happened. Do not mourn what hasn't happened. Just be here, in the middle of the process. The journey is the destination. There is no finish line you need to rush toward. The simple act of breathing is the victory. Deep down, we struggle with identity fusion with P&L. This is the deepest trap. We start to believe that our net worth is our self-worth. If the account is green, we are good people. If the account is red, we are bad people. We merge our soul with a number on a screen. We let a digital readout determine our value as a human being. Let us sever that connection gently. Imagine a pair of scissors cutting the cord between your heart and your bank account. You are not your trades. You are not your losses. You are not your wins. You are the consciousness observing it all. You are the vast, silent sky, and the trades are just clouds passing through. You are whole, regardless of the number. The spiral gently uncoils as we find goal substitution. When we cannot reach the target we aimed for, we quietly move the target. We pretend we wanted something else. We lie to ourselves to avoid the pain of failure. We lower the bar and call it a strategy. We rationalize. We make excuses. It is the mind protecting itself from the truth. But tonight, you can handle the truth. The truth is simply what happened. You do not need to change the goal. You do not need to make excuses. You can simply say, "I missed," and then sleep. It is okay to miss. It is okay to be imperfect. The need to be right is a heavy armor. Take it off. The spiral has stopped spinning. The desperate need to fix, to bet, to fight, to prove, it has all settled down like dust after a storm. The air is clear. The ground is still. You are no longer reacting. You are just resting. We drift now into the realm of the unknown. We move from the heat of emotion to the cool, abstract world of probability. In the daylight, randomness can feel cruel. It can feel like the world is teasing us. But here, in the quiet, randomness is just a rhythm. It is the white noise of the universe. It is the sound of rain falling on the roof, chaotic yet peaceful. We are going to look at how we misunderstand this noise, and in doing so, we will find a way to make peace with it. We start by drifting toward the gambler's fallacy. This is the belief that the universe keeps a scorecard. We think that if the coin has flipped heads 10 times, it must flip tails next. We feel that nature seeks balance in the short term. We wait for the turn because we think it is due. But the universe is vast and has no memory. The coin does not remember the last flip. The market does not remember the last hour. There is a deep release in knowing this. The universe is not conspiring to balance the scales for you. It is not holding a debt. You can stop waiting for the correction. You can stop expecting the world to owe you a result. Each moment is born new, fresh, and free from the past. This leads us to the way we are misreading randomness. We look at a chart, jagged and messy, and we try to find a reason for every bump. We think every movement has a cause. We think every tick is a message. But often it is just noise. It is just the wind blowing through the trees. Not every sound is a word. Not every movement is a signal. You can relax your need to interpret everything. You can let the market mumble to itself. You can let the noise just be noise. You do not need to decode the wind. You can just listen to it pass. Because we dislike the noise, we fall into illusory pattern perception. We are creatures who love order. We look up at the scattered stars and we draw lines between them to make constellations. We see bears and bulls in the ink blots. We convince ourselves that we see a structure where there is only chance. It is a way to feel safe, to feel that the world is organized. But tonight, erase the lines. Look up at the mental sky and let the stars just be scattered points of light. They do not need to form a picture. They do not need to make sense. It is beautiful enough that they simply exist. Let go of the need to organize the chaos. Let it be wild. When the pattern breaks, we swing between overreaction and underreaction. When new information hits, we either jump too high or we don't move at all. We are startling birds flying at the snap of a twig, or we are stones refusing to budge when the water rises. We struggle to find the middle path. We struggle to weigh the truth. In this state of rest, imagine yourself as a deep lake. When a pebble is thrown in, the surface ripples, but the deep water remains still. You are the deep water. The news, the data, the shock, it is just a pebble. It does not disturb your peace. You do not need to react at all right now. We are often trapped by recency bias. We give too much weight to what happened yesterday. If it rained yesterday, we think it will rain forever. If we won today, we think we will never lose again. We are prisoners of the immediate past. We forget the long history of the seasons. We walk with our eyes on our feet, forgetting the horizon. Lift your eyes now. Look back at the long, long road behind you. Yesterday is just one grain of sand in a desert. It has no power over you. It does not predict the future. The tyranny of now is fading. You are stepping out of the small box of the present and floating into the timeless. This bias makes us prone to over-reliance on recent backtests. We look at what worked last month and assume it is a golden key. We trust the short memory. We build our castles on the sand of the last few weeks, forgetting that the tide changes over years. We want the easy answer that worked yesterday. But wisdom is slow. Wisdom looks at the decades, not the days. You do not need to rush to what is working right now. You can trust the ancient, slow principles. You can trust the long term. The short term is frantic. The long term is peaceful. And in the quiet, we acknowledge survivorship bias. We look at the winners and think that winning is easy. We see the successful traders, the booming companies, the strategies that survived. We do not see the thousands that failed.
We do not hear the silence of the graves. We assume that success is the default because that is all we see. This creates a false expectation. It makes us feel inadequate when we struggle. But acknowledge the silence now. Acknowledge that struggle is normal. Failure is part of the process. You are not seeing the whole picture, and that is forgiving. You do not need to be the survivor every single day. You just need to endure. We have stopped trying to predict the next coin flip. We have stopped drawing lines in the stars. We have stopped thinking that yesterday is the only truth. The need for certainty has dissolved. You are floating in the river of chance, and instead of fighting the current, you are letting it carry you. You are safe in the uncertainty.
We have traveled through the mind's illusions, the crowd's noise, and the nature of luck. Now we turn our gaze inward to the vessel itself. We look at the tired mind. We look at the exhausted spirit. In the bright lights of the trading day, we try to push through fatigue. We try to force clarity. But here, in the sanctuary of sleep, we can admit the truth. The machine needs to stop. The engine needs to cool down. We are going to gently unpack the heavy load of stress you have been carrying and lay it down piece by piece. Let us first acknowledge money stress and cognition. It is a heavy fog. When we are worried about resources, when we are fearful about the future, the mind contracts, the IQ drops, the ability to see clearly is clouded by a survival instinct that screams for safety. It is like trying to navigate a ship through a thick mist. You cannot see the stars, you cannot see the shore, but listen closely. You do not need to navigate right now. You can drop the anchor. The fog is not a sign of failure. It is just a signal that the weather is heavy. By resting here, you are letting the sun burn off the mist. You are reclaiming your clarity simply by doing nothing. When the mind is under this weight, we fall into short-termism under stress. When we are tired, the horizon shrinks. We stop looking at the years ahead, and we only look at the minutes. We become obsessed with the now because the brain feels it cannot survive until later. We become trapped in a tiny box of time. Tonight, break down the walls of that box. Push the horizon back. Remind yourself that you have time. You have days and months and years. You do not need to solve the puzzle in the next 5 minutes. You can afford to wait. The urgency is an illusion of fatigue. The long term is waiting for you, patient and vast. In this state, we suffer from time pressure distortion. A minute feels like an hour. An hour feels like a day. The ticking of the clock sounds like a hammer. We feel we are running out of time to make the trade, to make the money, to make the mark. We rush
because we feel the sand slipping through our fingers. But in the realm of sleep, time dissolves. There is no clock on the wall of your dreams. There is no market close. There is only the eternal present. The pressure is releasing. The sand has stopped falling. You have all the time in the world. We drift toward a surprising challenge, underestimating boredom risk. In our waking life, we are terrified of being bored. We think stillness is a waste. When the market is quiet, we itch to click, to trade, to interfere. We invent problems just to have something to solve. We mistake activity for productivity. But here, we embrace the boredom. We rename it. We call it peace. We call it serenity. The stillness is not an enemy. It is the water that nourishes the roots. You do not need to be entertained. You do not need to be stimulated. You can just float in the quiet, knowing that doing nothing is often the wisest action of all. We arrive now at the most important truth: sleep and decision quality. We often treat sleep as a nuisance, a gap in our productivity. We trade hours of rest for hours of staring at screens. But the tired brain is a broken instrument. It cannot weigh risk. It cannot manage fear. By lying here, by choosing to sleep, you are fixing the instrument. You are sharpening the blade. This rest is not a retreat from the market. It is the ultimate preparation for it. You are rebuilding the foundation of your judgment. Feel the virtue in your rest. You are doing exactly what you need to do. And gently we soothe the sting of myopic loss aversion. When we are tired, we look too closely. We look at the ground at our feet instead of the view from the mountain. We feel the pain of every small stumble, every tiny dip in the chart, because our eyes are glued to the pavement. We cannot see the upward trend because we are staring at the cracks in the sidewalk. Lift your head, close your eyes to the details. The small losses of the day are just dust on the path. They do not matter in the grand journey. You can stop counting the cracks. You can stop watching the ground. The stress is melting away. The cognitive noise is fading into silence. The pressure to act, to think, to analyze, it is all gone. The brain is powering down, grateful for the silence, grateful for the dark. You are repairing. You are healing. You are resting.
The mind is resting now. The emotions have cooled. We drift gently into the quiet machinery of the market itself. Underneath the noise and the stories, there is a silent structure. There are gears turning in the deep. In the waking world, ignoring these gears brings danger. But here, in the safety of sleep, we simply observe the mechanism. We listen to the hum of the math. We understand the physics of the trade. And in understanding, there is peace. There is no need to fear what you can see clearly. In the stillness, we notice the over-trading cost drag. Imagine a wheel spinning. If it spins too fast, it creates heat. It creates friction. Every time you enter and exit, every time you click, you pay a tiny toll.
In the moment, it feels like nothing, a speck of dust. But dust accumulates. It creates a drag on the wheel. It slows the momentum. The market whispers to you to move, to churn, to act. But the wisdom of the quiet mind says, be still. There is a deep efficiency in doing less. There is a savings in silence. You are preserving your capital simply by not moving. You are winning by waiting. Feel the friction disappear as the wheel slows down. Smooth, silent, efficient. We turn our attention to leverage blindness. Leverage is the act of lifting more than we can carry. It is the illusion of strength. We borrow power to make the numbers go up faster, forgetting that the weight pushes down just as hard. We walk on stilts, feeling tall, forgetting how far we can fall. It creates a tension in the spine, a constant worry about the balance. Tonight, step off the stilts, put down the heavy weight, feel the ground beneath your own 2 feet. You do not need to be larger than you are. You do not need to amplify your movements. There is a profound safety in being exactly the size you are. Solid, grounded, unshakable. In this quiet space, we contemplate the liquidity illusion. We often believe the door is always open. We think we can leave the room whenever we want. We assume the water will always flow. But sometimes the river dries up. Sometimes the door is stuck. The crowd rushes for the exit and finds it narrow. This realization can bring panic to the awake, but to the sleeper, it brings patience. You accept that you cannot always move. You accept that sometimes you must stay where you are. You do not need to force the door. You can wait for the tide to return. You can wait for the flow to come back. You are comfortable in the stillness of the pause. We drift toward the neglect of recovery math. We often forget how deep the valley is until we are at the bottom. We forget that to climb back up takes twice the effort of falling down. We dig holes for ourselves, thinking we can easily jump out. But gravity is real. The math is real. Tonight, we respect the gravity. We respect the cliff edge. We choose the path of safety, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. We choose to stay on the high ground. We cherish the capital we have, protecting it like a small flame in the wind. It is so much more peaceful to protect the flame than to try to relight it in the storm. To complete this understanding, we look at naive diversification. We gather things that look different, thinking we are safe. We plant a garden of flowers, thinking they are distinct, not realizing they all drink from the same water. When the drought comes, the whole garden wilts. We thought we built a wall, but we only built a fence. In this moment of clarity, we see the connections. We see the invisible threads that tie everything together. We understand that true safety comes from understanding the soil, not just the flowers. We do not need to pretend to be safe. We can simply accept that everything is connected. We can find peace in the unity of things.
The gears of the machine are turning slowly, quietly. The friction of overtrading is gone. The weight of leverage is lifted. The illusion of the open door has faded. The structure of the market is no longer a trap. It is just a landscape you can see clearly, a landscape you can rest in. You are safe within the math. You are safe within the silence.
We have moved through the noise, the pain, and the math. Now we arrive at the quiet schoolhouse of the mind. The market is always speaking to us, always teaching, but often we are too busy shouting to hear it. In the daylight, learning feels like work. It feels like a struggle to be better. But here, under the blanket of sleep, learning is passive. It is simply the act of listening. It is the act of letting the defenses drop so the truth can enter. We are going to gently unlearn the habits that keep us blind. We gently unwrap the heavy cloak of self-attribution bias. When the harvest is good, we tell ourselves it is because we are master farmers. We take the credit. We puff out our chests. But when the crop fails, we blame the rain. We blame the soil. We protect our ego by refusing to own the storm. This constant defense is exhausting. It takes so much energy to maintain the illusion that we are perfect. Tonight, let the illusion fall. You do not need to be the master of the universe. If you won, be grateful for the wind at your back. If you lost, accept the lesson on your shoulders. You are just a sailor on the sea. You do not command the waves, and you do not need to take credit for the tide. There is peace in humility. Drifting deeper, we encounter confirmation bias. We move through the world looking for mirrors. We want to see our own ideas reflected back to us. We read the news that agrees with us. We listen to the voices that tell us we are right. We ignore the warning signs because they are uncomfortable. We build a fortress of agreement to keep out the cold wind of doubt. But the walls of that fortress block the view. In this deep relaxation, imagine the walls coming down. You do not need to be right. You only need to see. You can look at the evidence that contradicts you, and you can smile at it. It does not hurt you. It is just information. Let the whole truth come in, like light through an open window. We feel the gentle pull of the status quo bias. It is the desire to stay exactly where we are, to do nothing, because doing nothing feels safer than doing something new. We stay in the broken strategy because it is familiar. We stay in the losing trade because changing course requires effort. We drift in the stagnant water. But life is movement. Life is a river that flows. Tonight, visualize yourself untying the rope that holds your boat to the dock. You don't even need to row. The current of wisdom will carry you. You don't need to fear the change. The change is natural. The change is growth.
We contemplate the struggle between satisficing and maximizing. The maximizer runs through the forest looking for the perfect tree, never stopping, never resting, always terrified that a better tree exists just over the hill. The maximizer is never at peace. The satisficer finds a tree that provides shade and sits down. The satisficer knows that good enough is a kind of freedom.
In the markets, we often search for the perfect entry, the perfect exit, the perfect system. We exhaust ourselves chasing the ghost of perfection. Stop running. Look at where you are. The shade is cool here. The grass is soft. The trade you have, the plan you have, it is enough. You can rest in the enough. We observe the training effect of rewards. Sometimes we do the wrong thing and the market gives us gold. We take a bad risk and we get paid. The mind learns the wrong lesson. It thinks the danger is safe. It is a trick of the light. It is a siren song leading us to the rocks. But in the clarity of silence, we can separate the action from the result. We can look at the gold in our hand and say, I was lucky. We can forgive ourselves for the bad habit, but we do not need to keep it. We can gently place the false reward down. We value the process more than the prize. The prize is temporary. The wisdom is forever. And as the lesson fades, we look at learning from near misses. When the arrow lands just an inch from our foot, we often laugh. We think, I almost won, or we think, I am invincible. We treat the near miss as a victory. We treat the escape as a skill. But the quiet mind knows that a near miss is a whisper of warning. It is the universe saying, take care. We do not need to be frightened by it. We only need to nod. We acknowledge the closeness of the danger, and we feel a warm wave of gratitude for the safety we still have. We bow to the warning, and we adjust our path. The ego is quiet now. The need to be right, the need to be perfect, the need to be the hero, it has all faded. You are a student of the silence. You are absorbing the lessons without effort. The market is not a battleground, it is a classroom, and right now the lights are dimmed and the lesson is over. Rest. We have left the classroom. We have walked away from the machines. Now we stand in the open air, looking at the horizon. We are no longer just traders of the moment. We are architects of a life. The frantic energy of the day dissolves into the long, slow rhythm of the years. Here, psychology is not about quick decisions. It is about wisdom. It is about the shape of time itself. Let us start by softening the tension of the time horizon mismatch. In our daily lives, we measure time in seconds, minutes, and hours. The heart beats fast, the mind races. We want the result now. But wealth, true deep wealth, moves on a different clock. It moves on the time of the trees. It moves on the time of the mountains. There is a disconnect between the frantic ticking of our wristwatch and the slow rotation of the earth. We suffer because we try to force the mountain to move at our speed. Tonight, synchronize your internal clock with the slow clock of the earth. Feel the relief of knowing that you do not need to rush. The seed does not explode into a tree. It unfolds slowly, quietly, invisibly. You can surrender your hurry. You can let the years do the heavy lifting for you. You are playing a long game, and in a long game, there is always time to rest. As we settle into this slow rhythm, we look at the jars we keep in our minds, mental accounting. We tend to label our money. We say, this jar is for safety, this jar is for risk, this jar is found money. We treat the coins differently depending on which jar they sit in. We spend the bonus jar carelessly while we guard the salary jar with fear. We fracture our wealth into little pieces, creating conflict in the mind. In this deep state of deep relaxation, imagine breaking the jars. Imagine the walls between the accounts dissolving. Visualize all your energy, all your resources pooling together into one calm silvery lake. It is all the same water. It is all the same energy. You do not need to compartmentalize your life. You do not need to treat one part of yourself differently from another. You are whole. Your wealth is one fluid ocean, rising and falling together, peaceful and undivided.
From this unity, we find the wisdom of smoothing consumption. The primitive mind wants to feast when the hunt is good and starve when the winter comes. We cycle between indulgence and panic. We spend when we feel rich, we hoard when we feel poor. We ride the waves of the market, letting our lifestyle crash and peak with the numbers. It is a jagged way to live. But the wise mind seeks the smooth path. Imagine a river that flows steadily, regardless of the rain. It does not flood, it does not dry up, it just flows. You can find that steadiness in your own life. You do not need to react to every windfall. You do not need to panic at every drought. You are building a life that glides over the bumps. You are creating a sanctuary of consistency. The highs do not make you manic. The lows do not make you desperate. You are the steady river. And as we gaze at the horizon, we address our love for the tangible, overweighting dividends. We love to see the cash hit the account. We love the bird in the hand. It feels real. It feels safe. We sometimes mistrust the growth we cannot see, the capital accumulating silently in the background. We prefer the fruit we can eat today over the tree that grows taller tomorrow. It is a natural desire for certainty. But tonight, trust the invisible growth. Trust the roots deep underground. You do not need to see the flower to know the plant is alive. You do not need the cash in your hand to know you are safe. Let go of the need for immediate proof. Let go of the need to harvest every day. Let the forest grow wild and deep around you. The value is there, breathing, expanding, surrounding you with abundance, even if you do not touch it. The horizon has stretched out. The urgency of the moment is gone. You are not living for the next 5 minutes. You are drifting on the vast, calm ocean of a lifetime. The water is smooth, the air is still. You are building something that lasts, and the most important brick in that foundation is sleep. We have arrived at the end of the path. The journey through the mind, the numbers, and the noise is complete. We stand now at the very edge of sleep. The heavy concepts have been laid down. The worries have been dissolved. There are no new lessons to learn tonight. There is only the final, quiet realization of what it all means. We are going to take the two most human parts of this journey and let them rock us to sleep. We return one last time to the concept of boredom. In the beginning, we feared it. We thought that doing nothing was a risk. We thought that silence was empty. But now, at the end of the journey, we understand the truth. Boredom is not emptiness. Boredom is peace. The market often rewards the one who can sit the stillest. The market rewards the one who can watch the river flow without needing to throw a stone in it. Feel the profound safety in this boredom. It is a soft, velvet blanket. You do not need to click. You do not need to check. You do not need to know. The most profitable thing you can do right now is to drift. The most powerful action you can take is to close your eyes. Let the boredom wash over you like warm water. It is the feeling of having enough. It is the feeling of being enough. And finally, we look at the shifting tides of risk. We realized earlier that our feelings change, that we are brave one day and fearful the next. We used to fight this. We used to try to be machines, steady and unmoving. But now we accept our humanity. We accept that we are cyclical creatures. We are like the moon. We wax and we wane. We breathe in and we breathe out. The market is a mirror of this breath. It rises and falls, not because of math, but because of people like us, breathing in hope and breathing out fear. This is the final secret. The market does not change. The charts, the candles, the numbers, they are just the rocks on the shore. They are eternal and silent. It is we who change. It is we who cycle. The chaos we saw was never in the screen. It was always in the reflection. And now that the water is still, the reflection is clear. The cycle is pausing for the night. The tide is going out. You can let go of the identity of the trader. You can let go of the identity of the student. Beneath the strategy, beneath the psychology, beneath the money, there is just you, a breathing, beating heart in the quiet dark. The markets will be there tomorrow. The cycles will begin again. But you do not need to carry them with you. You have reached the shore. The work is done. The lesson is finished. Let the silence take the final watch. Sleep.